and America First Action spokesperson Steve Cortes. Steve, let me start with you because you warmed up to President Trump over the election process period.
Right.
You and I had many conversations, and you were one of the first Hispanic friends that I had who initially wasn't sure but really embraced the president. What have you seen from him that makes you feel like you made the right choice?
Well, listen, I think he did make the right choice. And by the way, I have a lot of company in that opinion. What I mean by that is polling shows us that over the course of this presidency, Hispanic support for the president has increased dramatically. Recent Fox News poll showed 52% of Latinos in America approve of his handling of the economy. It's a massive number. And that issue, by the way, is the number one reason that I'm glad I supported the president and why I think he's winning over Hispanics. When it comes to politics, in contrast to what mainstream media wants us to believe, Hispanics are not fixated on the border. We are not one-issue voters. And I think that the economy is, in fact, the real driving force of our political persuasion. And on that score, this president has been magnificent for all Americans, but particularly so for Hispanic Americans.
You know, Jose, watching the Democratic nomination process play out, it feels like Hispanics, and I know we're grouping in a whole lot of different people with different perspectives, are a wild card. That they're not necessarily enamored with Biden, who has now rocketed to the #1 position, and that they are a group that's up. That any candidate, presidential candidate on either side of the aisle, has a good chance of grabbing a lot of votes.
Well, look, I mean, I think first and foremost, it's too early to say that. I think we're still in the primary season. I think with Latinos specifically, Vice President Biden will do very well in Florida and beyond. I think he's set to hopefully be the nominee, and if he is, I am confident that the Latino community across the country are going to come together with Joe Biden. Because look, the reality is that Latinos not only care about the economy, it's important, of course, but they care about climate change, they care about immigration, they care about healthcare, and President Trump has not delivered in any of those things. So look, the numbers don't lie. We've seen it. Latinos time and time again historically come support Democrats time and time again. President Trump wasn't even able to get over 30% of Latino support, and I don't think he'll do too well in this coming election.
You know, Steve, I do find it interesting when these political parties sort of foist upon groups, what they should be interested in. I mean,
right.
Listen, there's a whole bunch of things we're interested in, but I would suspect that the majority of folks who are trying to climb the economic ladder in this country, blacks and Hispanics in particular, are more concerned about those unique opportunities that their parents didn't have and their grandparents didn't have, more so even in things like climate change.
Oh, look, I think certainly, and small business in particular, regarding Hispanics, we are by far the most entrepreneurial demographic in America. We just have tremendous startup zeal in the Hispanic community. We're about twice as likely as other Americans to start new enterprises. And the small business community is thriving broadly, not just Hispanics, but everybody in this country right now. There was a recent poll taken by SurveyMonkey. 64% of small business owners in America support President Trump. That's a new high for his presidency. Many of those small business owners are Hispanic entrepreneurs, and I believe that factor alone is going to push the Hispanic percentage at least into the 40s. I believe we got 30% last time, if not an actual outright majority. I think that is entirely possible come November.
Jose, I just got less than a minute to go, but what specific issues should the candidates be focused on? And what is the Democrat candidate going to say that specifically speaks to Hispanic voters?
Look, we're going to talk about that. We're going to move. We're going to think forward. We're going to fix the economy. We're going to get the economy better. We're going to make sure that we actually fix Obamacare, improve Obamacare. We're going to make sure that we care. We have a president in the White House that cares about climate change and immigration, that is compassionate when it comes to our immigrant brothers and sisters. That's the type of president we need, and that's the president that Joe Biden will be. And once again, we are going to overwhelmingly have a huge Latino support for the Democrats, or at least over 60 to 70%. President Trump won't get close to 30. It'll be a miracle if he gets anywhere close to 40.
All right, so we
get ready for miracles.
The beautiful thing is that we can play this the day after the election and see. Cortes right. says 40% plus. Jose, Steve, thank you both very much. All right, well, the wild volatility on Wall Street continues.